Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Feedback. I have Kurtis Hutchinson in the studio today. Also goes by Curtis Lee. It's his stage name.
Yeah, like Tommy Lee Jones, Bruce Lee.
Not Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, she's called Freaky Friday.
She is? Yeah, Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So I met this gentleman last week, and I was very excited to get him, kind of dig into his head a little bit. He is a musician. He does everything by himself. He's a one-man band. I just watched a little bit of roll on a drum, and I was impressed. Seen you play the guitar, hear how you sing, and also creative guys getting into photography, and then also you own a drone business.
Yeah, my day job, I'm a drone pilot. Just got into it like a year and a half ago, and that's how I pay the bills. You know?
What do you do mostly with that?
So I do inspections. So highline pole inspections is my main gig.
High line? What is high line?
Like, electrical poles.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wooden, metal,
all of the above.
and they just tell you an area and you go for it?
Yeah, they'll give me like a node, and usually be like 100 poles, and I'll go to like Compton or something.
Really?
Just spend my week there, and I get paid per pole and just knock it out.
Well, that area of LA, they're everywhere.
Yeah. No, they had me go basically from this area up to Compton, up to Granada Hills. So yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Sketchy areas and super nice areas.
Yeah. Does that pay the bills?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Decent?
Yeah, it's best paying job I've had.
So I was thinking about some things because we've only become friends.
Yeah.
Basically, the last time I saw you and today.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of things that I was like, well, I don't know this guy, so I can't really dig into you or anything like that, and it's kind of fun to find out more about you. Yeah. The drone thing. How did you get into drones, and how did you know which one to buy? Is this something you train for, or?
Yeah. So I got into it. Really, my dad suggested it. He was been a lineman his whole life, working on highline poles. And he knew a couple drone pilots.
Wait, so he's up there.
Yeah, he's climbing poles,
And repairing them. Or
he worked for APS, Arizona Public Service. His whole life. So he worked with some drone pilots, and he's like, "You should think about getting into this." He kind of was picking people's brains, and I was like, "No. You never want to hear your dad's."
Yeah. Like I got my own life, Dad.
Yeah. I'm doing good as a termite inspector. Right?
So, is that what you were doing before this?
Yeah, I was a bug guy.
Termite inspector.
Yeah.
So you come and be like, all this stuff is they're eating your house?
Yeah, first I did treatments, like all the chemical and stuff, like a year. And then for 3 years.
The orange stuff, is that a thing? They squeeze the oranges?
Not oranges. We would just do heavy duty chemicals. Like I'd be, first you got to drill the concrete the way we treat them in Arizona.
Yeah.
You drill the concrete all around the house, and then you pump those holes to get it to the soil.
Oh, damn.
Then you got to trench all the dirt. You got crawl spaces.
Construction.
Borderline.
Feels that way.
Yeah.
Oh, you said Arizona because that's where you were living before this.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Arizona?
Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah.
Born and raised. You only recently came out here?
Well, born in Oklahoma till I was about 5.
Oklahoma,
and then my parents went out to Arizona, and that's my home. Yeah. Where I grew up.
So dad had the lineman job in Arizona, and
he
then you
started
moved here?
Yeah. So my dad started. Man, when we were in Oklahoma, like when I was born, my mom found out she was pregnant.
Yeah.
My dad's like, oh, okay, I got to do something. And he like literally
I need to make money.
Pretty much came back with the job, like almost like at least that's the story,
Yeah.
So he worked for Indian Electric in Oklahoma, and then he had a family member that taught him how to climb. Here, use my belt, climb, and got him into.
You can do this and make money.
Yeah.
Since you're at risk, it's good money.
Yeah.
It's got to be like that, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna fall, you're not gonna.
It's good money, and he's a hard worker. He likes working.
And you can work at your own pace with that kind of job.
With the lineman stuff.
Yeah.
That one's more like scheduled. Like he's always. It's kind of like a 9 to 5. He gets a lot of overtime, so he loves working. So he'll take a call out, at 3 a.m. or.
But for you get paid per whatever thing you're inspecting with the
drone?
Yeah.
So for the drone pilot stuff, at least the last project I was on, the biggest project I was on, it was per pole. So like I'll get $7 a pole.
That's awesome.
And I'll just, knock it out, and you can get done early, if you feel like coming home and being creative.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah.
So we only got a little bit into this, but I might be asking you questions that I've asked you the first time I met you, but do you practice creative stuff every day? Hearing you play the guitar, it's kind of like this guy's practicing, right?
It comes in phases. Like, I mean, I'll have months where I don't touch a guitar or, and I'll always be on to something else. But music's the one thing I come back to.
Yeah.
I started playing, I got my first guitar when I was 10.
Yeah.
And maybe 12, started taking it more serious, doing talent shows and stuff, And
you were performing at a young age.
yeah, I did like my 8th grade talent show with my best friend. He's still my best friend to this day.
What's his name?
Shout out Chase Rogers.
Shout out Chase.
The homie.
Let's go, Chase.
I trust him with my life.
There you go. I only know a couple of those people.
Yeah, we're tight. So did the talent show with him, played Iron Man.
You did?
Yeah. Sick. Very bad. Well, on the E string, like simple version. But we did it.
Oh, you scraped down.
We did it. Yeah, instead of doing the whole chords. And then, just been in bands since I want to say like 14. I joined my first like punk band, And
So you were 12 and then you sang Iron Man?
I was just doing guitar at that point.
Okay.
So what we did.
And how did you learn guitar? Like tabs?
Yeah, like Ultimate Guitar.
So for people that don't know, you go to ultimateguitar.com and you learn how to do that, and it'll show you what string and what fret, and that's
it.
tabs.
That's it.
And if you're good at, you can learn chords, and it'll show you what chords do, and then you can.
Yep, I did guitar lessons for a second. I didn't like it because it made it feel like homework,
Yeah.
So also shout out.
Do you think that's a big? Oh yeah.
Yeah, Easy Music. That's where I did the lessons for like a week.
Thanks, Easy Music.
Yeah.
Still appreciate you.
Yeah.
You had a lot to do with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed that a lot of people get real turned off about like how much work they have to put in to learn an instrument. But I'm telling you, like if you could just learn basic chords or comp, you'll realize there's a lot of songs that you can play, or you can just come up with a little progression. And if you could print the words out, you can practice and you can sing with your friends. If they know the words, it's a wonderful time.
Yep.
So initially some tabs. Now I'm learning. Did a guitar lesson? No, but I like the vibe of getting up in front of people. Did Iron Man go well at the talent show?
Yeah, it went well. We like pretty much switched off playing the riff like back and forth. No mistakes. It was simple, but we did it, and
yeah,
I got a little video. My mom got the,
you do have
video.
It?
Yeah,
dude.
Or so yeah, got pictures and everything. So yeah, no, that went great. I don't know.
That was like the big I'm gonna do this, and so you got.
It wasn't even like a big I'm gonna do it. I think I just don't really get stage fright if I'm confident what I'm doing.
Sure.
I tried stand up comedy like way later, and I was really nervous because I didn't know how to do it.
And it hurts to bomb.
Yeah. Where music, I'll get up.
Well, I've noticed a lot of times, I'll realize that I'll like make a mistake during a performance, and I'll just be going over in my head about that mistake, and I'll like bring it up to like my wife or something. She's like, I didn't even notice.
Right. That's usually the case.
I didn't see it, which I was like, okay, there's like I can get behind that. I'll just keep going.
Yeah, and
don't stop.
Starting with like punk rock too definitely helps. I mean, that's really what it is. Like that's when I started singing.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
29.
Yeah.
So this is 17 years ago. Punk rock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Sorry, I can do
I'm math almost held me back.
You were 12. Like what were Iron Man was the song you played, but like what punk bands were you like listening to?
So I was like classic rock kid, right?
Okay.
My dad got me into music. Like he had me burn like LimeWire CDs, I'd go on LimeWire, find the music for him. It was like Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Run DMC, Beastie Boys.
You were into that.
I love
that era.
That's it. Yeah. And then
you still like that?
Oh yeah. Some of the songs are like you can only hear Crazy Train like so many times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
But
the surprise has already happened.
I just saw Iron Maiden live like a few months ago. So yeah.
Is it awesome?
Oh yeah. They're like 90 and they're still like
killing
really good. Like great. So yeah, it started that way. And then I guess I got kind of into like the Ramones and Misfits.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, okay, I could play that and I could sing that. And it kind of inspires you more to learn and makes it easier to find some. Blitzkrieg Bop, you could yell.
Yeah,
Blitzkrieg
for
Bop,
sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
So you got in a group at 14 and you did what in the group?
So the first band I was in, I did lead guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, lead.
Yeah. Hands down.
But I'm still happy with it. You can still find videos and stuff on YouTube from this would have been like 2010, I think. Yeah, and it was very like Rise Against, the singer loved like Rise Against, Bad Religion, that kind of vibe, Offspring Against Me. And yeah, I was like 14, the singer was like 20, 21.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
Great. My cousin was on bass. The drummer went to my college with my mom. It was weird. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes
people line up.
Yeah. Sometimes it's weird when like the old guys with the young guy and the thing, and all of a sudden people are like, "This works though."
It was good. It was good. I was
did
playing
shows around in Arizona.
Yeah, Joe's Grotto, Club Red, the Nile Underground.
So you're up on weekends and you had stage time.
Yeah.
That's
That's
fun.
Yeah.
And you guys would play covers.
We had originals.
You did?
We would do covers. Like maybe we'd throw one in there. So we cover.
Yeah.
Kids Aren't All Right by The Offspring. Thrash Unreal by Against Me. All that stuff. But yeah, we had like an album's worth of material. Probably.
And you were creating lead guitar for this group.
Yeah.
And you were writing that shit at 14.
Yeah.
Bro, like
I'll listen back to it. I'll find it. Like,
were you freestyling? And you're like, this sounds good. Or were you writing? Were you tabbing it?
No.
So you just knew what to do.
We would my house was the jam house.
Of
so
course,
we jam in the garage and figure it out. Like the first solo for our first song, Built to Fail, was like okay,
it was showy.
It was kind of like a little tappy thing.
Sure.
But yeah.
And it was good times.
Oh, it was great.
And you did that for how long?
That first band, when you're a kid, it feels like so long, but it might have been just like a year or two. You know what I mean?
It was like summer.
It felt like a whole era. And then after that, I wanted to be a front man, start singing after that.
Because the other guy motivated you, the older gentleman?
I don't know what it was. I think it just lined up with getting into punk rock and learning all the Ramones songs and Misfits songs and like.
And that was separate from what the rest wanted to learn or play or whatever?
It was in the same vein at first. I started getting more like kind of emo, I would say. Like I still love punk rock and I did at the time, but I started getting more into, Escape the Fate and whatever it is, even like Fall Out Boy or whatever.
Sure.
More of the poppy kind of emo
me
stuff.
Me too. There was an era for me.
Yeah, right. So I'd say the band I started called 745.
That was your band?
That was my band, 745. The word 7, number 45.
Perfect. That's punk.
Yeah. So it went more that direction. Wearing the eyeliner and wearing all black.
Yeah. Let's go.
Blonde
hair. So you started to write the lyrics as the front man?
Yeah, the first song I wrote completely, I still, you could find it online too, Negative Energy. I was like, I don't know, 15. And I still like it. I still like it.
No, if there's a vibe, it won't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you create it yourself. Sometimes you're like, yeah. But I have a question about being in the band at first with the other frontman.
Yeah.
Did he decide kind of what you guys did since he would be singing the songs? And then you wanted to be able to pick the songs? Or were you just like, I'm capable of being the frontman and I want to do that?
It was super collaborative. Like we pretty much did all the instrumentation. The singer didn't play as much. He could get around a little bit on like acoustic.
Oh, okay.
So the band took care of the music. He did all the lyrics. I would do background vocals. The other guitarist would do some background vocals.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was pretty collaborative. And then, once it broke up, I don't even remember how it broke up. Probably something stupid.
14 and the band broke up?
Yeah. Like it was probably so stupid. It was an ordeal though. I remember like, was when I first learned like you don't burn bridges. And I didn't.
Yeah.
But they like, it was the whole ordeal. The cops got called. It was like a whole.
Oh shit! Let's go for that, dude. This is punk rock as hell from the beginning.
If I remember right, it was something like they had friends that were like, if we see you at shows, like we're gonna.
Oh, it was like that. Yeah.
Don't come out. Don't go out. And it was whatever. It's like high school kids.
Yeah.
And then my parents like they're all worried like what the heck. So we get my the band members that we broke up with at the time to come over, and my parents were there, and we all had like a intervention. Like what's going on?
Gotta be okay, because we all want to do this, and it's our same scene.
Yeah. And I remember like they thought I was like talking shit on like Facebook and stuff.
Talking shit about the 14.
And I wasn't, and that's the worst. Like when you're not doing something and they think you are. That's the worst feeling. You're like, dude.
Well, it kind of speaks to the volume of how good the band was. If they were that upset about it.
Yeah.
It
was good.
One thing to just throw your friends together, but like if they're like upset about whatever the future is going to be for them, like musically, that means the band was good, dude.
Yeah.
And so 745 comes out.
745 comes out. I kept my
your cousin. I was going to say family's still in there.
He's also
you're practicing at the house.
Yep. Still my garage. Shout out my neighbors.
Thanks, neighbors.
Yeah. Hallie Casper.
Sorry, Hallie. Sorry for the late ones.
Her dad, Dave, gave me a bike one year that was sick. But anyway, good neighbors.
And you had already been loud as shit in the neighborhood, and he still gave you.
Yeah, they were cool. They like it was.
They liked it.
It was like cookie cutter, houses, like so no space between them.
Yeah, that's what Arizona is, right?
Yeah,
track homes. Turn the AC on. There's no yard because you don't need to be outside.
Yeah, this is Phoenix, small yard. Yeah, it's like if you're in Arizona, Tatum and Union Hills, shout out. That's where I grew up.
There you go.
I love it. It's like super nostalgic going back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, neighbors put up with it. and my parents put up with it, and we try to stop by like 8:00 or whatever.
Yeah, you try to be respectful, especially if you're at mom and dad's house.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's their neighbors, not yours.
Exactly. Yeah, my cousin, and then we had a drummer, Michael Godwin. He was great. That was like the first iteration. That was more like grungy meets like pop punk, so like Blink-182, Nirvana influence.
Yeah, cool.
And then after that, we got a drummer, Robbie Sedano, and the guitarist Dylan Ewing, who he's still a shredder, like he's crazy.
Yeah.
Then it got more like
Wait, he was lead?
He was, yeah,
The shredder?
Yeah. So I would sing, kind of do rhythm guitar, and he would just like he was 14 when he joined, and I was 16, 17 at that point. And he was, even at that point, he was like one of those like Van Halen, Avenged Sevenfold, like crazy tapping. So I can't even imagine what he's like. I forget the band he's in now. Death.gov. Shout out Dylan if you're watching this. Death.gov.
Sounds like an awesome band name. Yeah, death.gov.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So how long did you wait? So 745 lasted how long?
Man.
For a while? You guys had this group?
Till I graduated pretty much.
Graduated what?
High school.
Okay.
So I would say, let's say sophomore year to the end of senior year.
Yeah.
Probably.
And you were doing this and you were telling all your high school friends, come and see my band.
Yeah. I was shameless about promotion.
Yeah.
Trying to sell tickets to everybody, putting stickers on everywhere, just, hey.
All the drive-thrus?
Yeah. Stop signs, buses, just whatever.
For sure.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to be a rock star. Like I was like,
yeah.
I had my mind set on it.
That's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Did you do good in school?
I got by. I didn't do bad. I didn't do good.
Would you have not been able to practice at the house if you were to like fail your classes or something?
I think if I pushed it, maybe.
Your parents knew your passion.
Yeah.
They wanted to support it?
Yeah.
And your dad taught you to play the guitar?
No. Really, I don't have any music in my
Really? That's awesome.
Except my dad's mom, my grandma, she died, like I never knew her.
Okay.
But I guess she played a little bit, sang, and she even like did a little like record, like 2-song record.
Oh shit.
I don't even know, like in the 70s, it was like a little country thing.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the only thing I could think of.
That's your only lineage of music? Well, that's great because like my whole goal with this whole thing is to like motivate anyone that has any sort of creative idea or anything,
awesome.
Like get it out.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking from experience where like your life will get better if you add creative things. You're already a creator anyways. You create whatever you do today and the decisions you make. Yep. But if you can kind of put your art down, put your stamp on something, man, it like changes your life for the better, like immensely.
Yep.
So your parents saw that and they wanted to support that. Now you're done with high school. The band's doing well.
So it broke up around the time of graduation. And another thing where it's like, was there even a good reason we broke up? Like it was probably like egos and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember the drummer and the guitarist got really into like Tool and like progressive stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I just want to like Papa Roach. Like let's just rock out.
Yeah, totally.
So there was a little bit of that.
Papa Roach. All right, I miss Papa Roach.
Oh, I love Papa Roach, dude. Jacoby Shaddix, dude. That was my first concert. It was
really?
Crew Fest, Motley Crue, Papa Roach, and Buck Cherry.
Damn. Yeah. My first concert was Stone Temple Pilots and Red Hot Chili Peppers. My mom took me to that.
I went with my parents.
13 or whatever. And she's like, "Do you smell that? That's what weed smells like." And I'm like, "Mom, I know what weed smells like."
Way ahead of your mom.
Yeah. I'm like, "Do you want to smoke?" No. Yeah. That was.
Don't tell your dad.
It was an interesting time. Yeah. But okay, so 745 breaks up. I actually, in my little first band, it was called the Mischiefs of Faction. And
that's a good name.
I thought it was
that's
a
good
great
name.
fucking name.
Yeah.
It's technically Thomas Jefferson wrote in like the Declaration of Independence that like we need some way to control the mischiefs of faction, which are just like not the normies, like the people that will change things.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to, and I'm like, we are those people. And they're
awesome.
like, that's awesome. We had this big block party we were going to do. And then we had a keg for this block party and it was this big thing and everyone got too sloppy and the show was shit and the drummer wouldn't take his earphones out and he was off and it was just like everyone's like
drummer can make or break it.
Oh, he broke it that day. At least he broke the intro with just ruin the rest of the shot. And we were like, I'm not going to play with you unless you pull those things out, man. You're not hearing us right now. It's different than the garage. We're performing out, So anyway, it was inexperienced and it was like so heartbreaking that like we just kind of didn't practice after that.
Yeah.
Like that was just kind of it.
Yeah.
And I had one guy that we were at community college studying music together. And then he just kind of went his own way. He went to Santa Cruz. The guitarist I still talk to. The drummer is he's an amazing shout out Derek. He's an amazing musician. He can do anything, and he's just very like he's just got like the vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's definitely like that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I just I hope he's still making music. The guitarist itself, his name is Tyler Alexander, and I'm trying to get him here.
Okay.
He's got this crazy life where he's doing all these weird things and all that, and I'm like, will you please swing by and just kind of lay it down, because his skills are like intense, and he's been like.
He sounds like your version of Dylan to me.
Yeah. It's just one of those guys where it's like, you know, you have the room people and you're like, are you just going to play while we all sleep?
Yeah.
You know, and he just, and gnarly stuff, you know, and he knew what he was doing because he was constantly taking lessons.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is Mixolydian and this is, you know, and I'm like, oh shit, bro. You know, and, yeah, the things that he would do, he'd grow his fingers out and dude, he was amazing. So that was that band, and never like did anything after that. And it was really sad. Were you sad after your band broke up? 745 was done?
Yeah, I think I was a little cocky. I think you get comfortable and you think, oh, I could find other people, whatever, you know? So I printed like a bunch of, you know, little ads. You know, like if you're into whatever it was, Escape the Fate, and Papa Roach, and
if you like
Green
that,
Day. Yeah, like, you know, hit me up. And I don't even think I printed out like 50, and I might have put up like 2. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
You just never put it out?
Yeah, I think maybe like hit up a Guitar Center and then put it up on like Craigslist. And really, like, I haven't fronted a band like that, like as dedicated since the high school band.
No shit.
Yeah.
This was do you want to? That's something that you want.
It's hard because it's not as much as a priority as it was. Like, I don't know how to get that. Like, I'm gonna be a rock star. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that anymore.
You lost that?
I don't even know.
Or
if I
it's
lost
just a
it.
different.
It's
desire.
just different priority. Yeah, different desires. You know. But I've been in bands since then, just to different capacities. Like I played like pretty much every rock instrument. Like I did bass in a pop punk band. Played in like drums in 3 bands.
I mean, I could tell you practice with other people in drums. Just you hit on the electric drum set downstairs. I'm like, obviously a dude that's just, you know, full faceted. Can
get around.
Whatever. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people that can't do drums and guitar.
Rhythm. Some people have rhythm, or some people don't, dude. Like,
do you think it's something that people can learn?
Ah, man. I think if you throw your head against the wall long enough, yeah. But
rhythm,
like
no.
Rhythm, I don't know, because I know people that have been doing something like drums for like a decade.
Yeah,
and they're off, you know.
Yeah,
and it sucks.
I mean, I've been shown tricks, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah,
you know. But also, I've been doing music for my whole life. You know, I've always and rhythm guitar was just kind of how I started.
Yeah,
you know, it's more like let me write a song for this girlfriend I have when I'm 11 or whatever, you know. And I just realized that if I like palm mute and hit it there, then she likes it better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That Jason Mraz style
for
or
sure.
something.
Whatever. Yeah. You know, it was definitely a Mrazzy feel back then. Well, because I want, if someone goes and tries a drum set and they're just like, not for me, I want to know, like, is it because it's not for you or is it because you just haven't practiced?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think there's like a level of like, I don't know, natural intrigue, or like everyone has a different starting point, you know? Yeah. Like there's kids that like will pull out pots and pans. You know,
yeah, dude. Yeah.
Have it as a kid. But
do you ever see people when they would hit a pencil on and
yeah. Oh yeah. Rocking out on the desk.
Yeah. It was always hip hop drops.
Right.
Grinding.
I know I got a ticket for the one.
Oh yeah. See? Yeah, it's similar use, bro. You get it. Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, some people, you got it or you don't to a degree, but I think you could bang your head against the wall and get somewhat decent.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed if I just put in time, it gets better. Yeah. Like even if I feel like, oh, this song's really good, if I practice that song or keep making or whatever, and it'll be better in a month.
Yep.
Like, better. So you're 18, you're done with school. Did you go to college?
I did like a little community college.
Did you study music in community college?
I took a rock history class.
Oh yeah. Did they teach you that rock and roll started when Bob Dylan picked up the electric guitar?
I don't remember.
That's what they taught me.
I don't remember where it started.
When I was telling my friends that, they're like, "This is bullshit." You know what I mean? It's like they had all these different.
If I had to guess, timelines. If I had to like say where rock and roll started, I don't. Wouldn't you say like like blues guys like B.B. King or something?
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that makes more sense to me for sure. Because that's the birth of the cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then all the British guys were like, hey, we want to do that.
Yeah. That sounds like something I could definitely do and appeal to all the rich white people.
That's it.
That's how it worked. It worked. Okay, so 18. Then what? What did you do with your life? You're 18 and then you stopped being a rock star?
I know. I kind of floated. So really another thing that broke up the band was moving to Glendale. I mean, really.
Glendale
Arizona.
LA?
Arizona.
Oh, okay.
This is Glendale, Arizona, West Side, Arrowhead Mall.
Okay.
But I moved there, and even though it was only like maybe less than 20 minutes away from Phoenix, from my old house, like that made it more of a reason not to practice.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of added to the just naturally we split up.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I was kind of looking what to do. I did community college a little bit. Eventually,
How did you make money?
my first job was Journeys selling shoes
Oh shit.
at Arrowhead Mall.
That's got to be fun, right? At the
It was
mall,
good. It was
the
good.
shoes.
Yeah, you get to go to the food court and hang out, and
There were a lot of your age people
Yeah.
that worked there.
it was a good first job. I went in to buy some Doc Martens, and the guy's like, "You want a job?"
Really?
Yeah, I'm like 18, never had a job, and I was like, "All right."
You're like, you give me a discount on dogs, dude?
I got. I think what was it? It was like, was it 40%? That sounds like too much. 40%.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, I would be surprised if their margin isn't 40%.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
that's cost.
And you were like, you had to like sell, like, hey, you got to bring socks to everybody, bring three
Yeah.
shoes out to everybody,
Yeah.
and you make you juggle socks out by the front door, like,
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
yeah, some sales experience.
So when did you record all this stuff that I've heard? Was that recent?
So like right after the pandemic, I'd say 2021, 2022. A lot of those songs were recorded, and I sat
How
on
did
most
you
of them.
record them?
Just in my townhouse when I was in Phoenix, and I had
Wait. So it was like, all right. Did you do drones prior to recording all this stuff in
No.
Phoenix? No. So life was happening. You were doing other things. Then you're like, I want to record some stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a good gap. So I'd say, man,
Crazy the gaps, man.
it's a big gap. Like,
Look-
band broke up. Tried community college, got a job. Went to school for audio engineering.
Sick.
So kind of had some gigs with that, and then just every job you could think of, like
So
Sonic.
you were recording other people?
Yeah, I was.
Did you want
It was
to?
more. It was
Studying
more.
it?
It was more like commercial audio, like visual stuff. Was
okay.
kind of the gigs I would get. I would get some sound stuff, like just small shows.
Churches?
No, never did churches. I did musicals at like PVCC.
Oh, that's cool.
Community college
Hell yeah.
musicals. That was fun. My
'Cause that's
internship.
production, dude. That's good times.
I did get to do probably the happiest thing or the best thing that happened out of that was interning at Jingletown. It's Green Day's studio in Oakland, and that's like Green Day's my all-time favorite band. So
yeah.
you give like your wish list when you graduate, and they're like, okay, like we'll see what we could do, and that was my number one pick, and I got to go down there
And you interned there.
yeah.
And how long was that? What kind of time frame?
I should have stayed there longer. It was like maybe 6 months, maybe half a
Was
year.
it just, did you get to meet them?
I got to drive Mike Dirnt to the airport.
Sick.
I met Billy, and they have like a little studio. I was going to deliver some stuff to the other studio, and I don't even remember. I was so starstruck.
I was gonna say, do you get starstruck in that?
I would
or
say-
like when you get comfortable, do you like, hey, I sing too? Do you ever like try to? Do you think does the rock star come back in you and be like, I'm a rock star too, Billy?
It was hard. I'd say generally I don't get starstruck, but like I wanted to be him in high school. Like,
Yeah,
Billy Joe
yeah.
was like my idol.
Like a hero.
Yeah, so I just didn't even hope I didn't say anything stupid,
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling at the studio when you're interning, you want to make sure you're not like bugging anybody. You're kind of like fly on the wall. So
Okay.
it was like
Yeah.
kind of that battle between like,
Sure.
I don't want to make a scene, let me just hang out and, play it cool, I guess.
Did anyone tell you that it's best for you to be a fly on the wall and don't hype up?
It was
or?
like, I think it was an implied thing. Maybe
Sure.
like when they hired me, something along those lines, but it wasn't like, you got to be quiet. Like, they didn't force it.
No, it was fun.
But you just I kind of felt it out, and part of me wishes I was maybe a little more outgoing at the time. But
And then what? That was here in LA?
that was in Oakland, in the Bay
Okay.
Area, in 2016.
Oh yeah.
Around
Forget that
2016.
Oakland is not LA.
Yeah, you're good.
That is North
It's
California.
the Bay, dude.
Yeah, the Bay Area.
Yeah. But that was 2016. I go back after that, so back to Arizona.
Oh, you came out for that.
Yep.
That's exciting. And you were what age to come out here?
2021, turning 21. Yeah.
Oh, you're in an element right then.
Yeah.
And you weren't practicing music at that time? Working at the place?
Yeah.
Studying?
I mean, just kind of at home, just what I always do, learning songs and messing
Yeah.
around, and nothing too serious.
But not creating your own music?
No, not really recording or anything at that point. No.
So you put that aside. And then you've
Yeah.
done this. You've started laying down stuff that you've made recently. This is what I've heard before.
Yeah. So after the pandemic, I'm in my townhouse and I'm a bug guy, killing bugs.
Oh yeah.
At this point.
It's exciting.
And yeah, I get on like creative kicks. And this was like one where I just locked in and I was like, what if I put aside some time and just made myself make like an album's worth of music, just to see if I could do it. I had all the equipment, I had Pro Tools and I had, minimally everything I needed.
Yeah.
So I just kind of song by song, just did it. Maybe I had like one or two that I already had in the...
You wrote these songs at that time, or you had already written the songs?
I'd say one or two were already written, and the rest...
Out of how many? How many did you put out?
I put out what's on Spotify right now. It's called I Should Have Put These Songs Out.
Yeah,
or I meant to put these songs out in 2022.
Yeah, that's a funny...
Yeah.
I was supposed to put these songs out in 2022.
There we go.
I love that.
Yeah, so there's like 8 songs on there. I probably recorded like 10, I guess. And there was, there's like 2 that weren't quite there. I was like, hold
Got
on.
it.
But yeah, I sat on them for a long time. I just put that up like when I met you, it uploaded that day.
That's awesome.
Like I was waiting for it to clear the distributor, and it finally uploaded.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you're proud of these?
Yeah, I'm stoked on them. I'd say like the first half's really good, and then second it starts to get a little more, experimental. Like I don't know. I just honestly was sitting on my computer, and I just said, I got to get it off my computer. I want to post these songs. Yeah. I don't want them just sitting there. I like them. I'm happy with them.
My most recent album is about like I just felt that the music I was making now was just different, and that was like all of these songs that I wasn't necessarily done with them. It was just kind of like they were of a time.
Yeah.
And I was like, unless somebody wants to go into them or something, I just feel like it's done for me. So like that's an album. That makes sense. I just put it out, Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I'm proud of like the production, but like it's just feels complete to me that it's like that was of that time.
Yeah.
And it also is very motivating to be like, cool. So now I'm in this new time and I need to make an album for this time. You know what I mean? Like in this very like creative, outgoing time. Can I play any of these songs?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Which one do you want me to play from the first half of the album before it gets too experimental?
My favorite is probably I'm Still Not Where I Want to Be.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was for the one I showed you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kurtis Lee with Still Not Where I Want to Be.
How many holes does a man have to dig? How many holes will I drill?
Literally drilling holes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Love it.
At a hole in my heart, but I'm still doing what I feel.
Hello?
'Cause I've done my time, I've walked that long line, I'm still not where I wanna be, yeah. 'Cause I've held my own, driven every long road, yeah. When will this dog have a day? Yeah, I'm still not where I wanna be.
All right. So it sounds amazing. And I think you know that. And I'm pretty sure everyone has told you that it sounds great because it sounds great. You recorded this all on Pro Tools at your house?
Yeah.
And how did you record vocals? You just get down like that and your voice sounds all awesome like that? Because that's very Green Day sounding.
I'd say,
you know what I mean?
The inspiration really for those songs was NoFX, Green Day, and Social Distortion.
There you go.
Yeah.
Social D.
If I had to name like 3. And Nirvana for like a little bit. But yeah.
Because it's very clean sounding. And a lot of people that make their stuff at home does not sound like that.
Yeah, I just I kind of knew what I wanted to go for.
But also you had study sound and engineering.
That helped. It helped having the right equipment, having the right program, and doing a lot of takes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just...
So for people that don't know that, like let's say they get an instrument or they can get any sort of software. There's thousands out there. There's some that I would recommend, but there's a lot out there. And if you get an instrument, and let's say you play a thing, you play a melody or you comp chords on your guitar or whatever, here's your that, and then you put drums to it. There's 1,000 different things that you can do to edit those to sound good. Whether if you want to double tracks or add whatever, or compress or anything like that, there's 1,000 different things you can do. Vocals are hard to sound clean like that. So if you could give anyone any sort of advice, they've got tracks down, there's no vocals, and they want to start recording clean vocals, what would you suggest they do?
So specifically for the vocals, I would say don't be afraid to do a lot of takes. I did, I don't know, say there was like 5 good takes, and I would comp them. I would go through and comp the best parts of each take. Depending on the
so this line, you would yeah.
So say there's 5 different takes of a vocal, right? Oh, this part of the chorus is good. Let me take that. Okay, this part of the chorus, let me take that and
of the good takes
and merge it all into one track. I did comping.
Well, because it doesn't really sound like you're just recording. Like track 2 is the second time of that. It sounds full.
Thank you.
Sounds like one go.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Which I think is,
I guess just really being hyper focused on it and comping those takes, and each one you have to like do the fades, so it sounds cohesive. I did a little pitch correction on not all the songs, like where it would sound unnatural. Some of the songs I just used Melodyne.
Okay. A plug-in.
Just where where it wasn't too much.
Yeah.
Although the weirdest song on there is "Afraid to Live."
Can I play it?
Oh,
come on! No.
Yeah.
No,
You play it. It's like straight auto tune.
I gotta hear it, dude.
Go for it.
What you did, the experiment, ladies and gentlemen. Kurtis Lee with "Afraid to Live." Let's go.
I've been afraid to live. I've done what I'm told to do. My life is a waiting room with no way out. Yeah, you turn the other cheek. Well, I've been a bit of has-been. I made my bed on the highest shelf. I met a man who never picked up a pencil. Said he's a sharp.
Yeah, so you get weird sometimes. I enjoy that part, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's, Okay, did you record that song at first without auto-tune and you're like, it needs something? And then you put it and you're like, that's weird enough, let's run it.
I didn't like the vocals. I was like, what? I got to just do something crazy. And I would say this song I was listening to the Beatles and Kanye like a lot.
Hell yeah.
I've given up on myself.
Yeah, well,
It's the time of myself. Yeah,
it's got structure though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comes back to the verse. Yeah, dude. Yeah. This album's got a lot of different stuff. Pick me one more on this album.
One that would be good to talk about is the first song, Close to You. Yeah.
Let's hear Close to You from Kurtis Lee. Available on Spotify and all other.
Hold me close for a while before you go to sleep. I'll turn down the lights low and turn off the TV. Talk about what's on your mind and the dreams we get to share. Just tonight I need you near to assure that you still care.
You love this shit, huh?
I do.
I can tell. It just makes me very excited. I'm like, man, he's in it and he's playing his guitar. You don't have anyone to play these songs for you right now? Because, hell yeah, your album's sick and it sounds amazing. Someone wants this, it's like, hey, will you come play? Who are you going to get?
I've had bands on and off. So when I moved here, I started it was a cover band. We would just kind of do Green Day and Blink-182 and 90s, 2000 stuff. You
would play bars?
Yeah, mainly North Bar and Escondido.
Oh, okay.
Mainly North Bar. Funny enough, the bass player moved to Arizona.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. So, but really nothing serious. I don't know. Just haven't found anybody.
There's his lead coming back. Oh yeah.
So darling, just for a while.
With the MIDI synth sound on
Yeah.
there? Let's go.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's exciting.
That song. So I was telling you, my grandma had 2 little country songs. That's her song.
Oh,
and
really?
I turned it into a punk song.
I love that.
So in the intro, you hear it sampled for a second, and then it kicks in.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go back. You can find these things on Spotify, guys. It's I was supposed to put these songs out in 2022 from Kurtis Lee.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the desire to become a rock star has faded. Is it gone?
Yeah, I guess I just don't put as much importance on the idea of being famous or
Yeah.
I think just having an outlet, being able to be creative is awesome. Exactly what you were saying. I'm way happier when I make the time to do creative, whether it's music or photography, anything.
Yeah.
I'm just way happier.
Yeah. When I was young, I used to like look at myself in the mirror and be like,
Oh, yeah.
I gotta think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could be this guy.
Yep.
Now I just want to like not be stressed out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to like make things, and I want to include other people.
Yep.
You know, that's something that as someone that makes my own music like you do,
Yeah.
if I didn't want to include other people, I wanted to just do it. Because bands and I had a lot of fun, but there was a lot of hard times in garages. You know what I mean? Where it just like wasn't going. You know, half of the group thinks that it's this sound, and the other person, and they're like, "Oh, I don't think the keyboard's good here," and I'm like, "That sounds amazing." You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that part's like hard. But if that's put to bed, do you have another desire? Did it fill another desire, or is it simply to pass time and be happy? Or
Like, where did the rock star? What did that turn?
or what did
into?
that turn into? Money?
No.
Because
I mean, honestly,
I would advise against.
I've been like heavily into the church stuff lately. I literally just got baptized like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, Orthodox Christian. And
Were you always going to church?
no.
This is new.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Did something happen?
It was a slow roll. Growing up, I didn't grow up with anything. My parents were just kind of agnostic.
Yeah.
And I was like punk rock, want to be atheist. I don't know what I actually believed, but
Sure.
I was into bad religion and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I had kind of a new agey period in my 20s. And then I'd say I got really into just stuff on the internet, watching Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, all day. I was
Watching
going to
Jordan
ask if you've
Peterson.
ever seen Jordan Peterson's version of Genesis.
That's what started
Holy
it. That's what
shit.
started it. Was
Yeah.
going through all the biblical lectures. And
Just so
being
you know,
like,
I did put the $500 down to get into the Peterson Academy prior to
Oh,
starting.
let's
So
go.
I'm grandfathered in, and I've like got
Oh.
to watch a few of the
that's awesome.
lectures.
It looks, I haven't done it, but it looks
It's
awesome.
super awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got really into that. Watched the whole biblical lecture and just it's really just, I never gave Christianity a chance. Like it kind of the way he talked about it, I was like, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, oh, maybe it's not just all a bunch of rules and someone telling you that everything on this page means everything, and it might be something bigger than that.
Yeah, it was
And
just
all of a sudden when your hair stands up, you're like, oh shit.
yeah, it just got me thinking about it. And then so I'd say since then, let's say 2017, 2018, it's been a slow roll until a couple weeks ago I was baptized. Yeah.
And so do you have a church around here?
Yeah.
Did you find a place locally?
Yeah, yep. It's,
Have you met them and told them you're freaking good at music?
Yeah,
'Cause
we
you know
had
they're
a
gonna
big,
want to front run. They're gonna want you to front man their band.
we had a big thing for Pascha, the Easter, Orthodox Easter, like a big picnic, and I brought the acoustic and was jamming out. And,
Oh, and they're like,
Yeah.
They didn't know.
maybe some
didn't know.
people did. I don't know. I just, a couple people played too. There was like four of us. Like I brought 2 guitars. My buddy brought 2 guitars, and there was like 4 people jamming around the fire by the end of the night.
Who got your buddy there? You did
To
church to play.
So
It's one thing to like feel something about religion, but it's other people to bring close friends.
he was in the church. He's one of my church friends that I met there.
Oh,
He was
okay.
having to play guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you bring your guitar, I'll bring mine. And we had a bunch of people jamming.
And you're happy with that.
Yeah.
So are you diving into studying about it?
Yeah, I'm like theology and stuff for sure. So in the Orthodox Church, when you get into it, you know, you're a catechumen for a while, which just means you're entering the church.
Okay.
And so I'd say for about a year, I was in that phase of just kind of inquiring and coming and constantly and thinking about it. So they give you like, you know, hey, check this out, read this, and there's classes, you know, they kind of give you the overview. It's really similar to Catholicism. Like obviously there's theological differences and they don't have a pope. Orthodoxy doesn't have a pope.
Yeah.
But as far as like high
structure.
church communion, you know, it's, you know, that in that way it's similar.
And you like that? Have you been to other churches?
Yeah, I've been to my grandpa on my dad's side is like he was Pentecostal and now he's Baptist. I don't know. I think right now I feel like I like the more structured, traditional, old school thing versus the rock concert or modern vibe.
Well, I feel
Funny
like
enough,
it's a little more of the things that was actually written.
Exactly.
It's a little more structured. There's so much of that, you know. Because I was in church a lot when I was younger, and then like as an adult, like it was like trying, and I just remember them like telling us what to vote for and stuff. And I remember like being like, I don't know, it was just kind of odd, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm here for what's in the book to train my critical brain to like be open to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if someone was a little more, I don't know, I just felt like I was missing that, you know, I was missing like there was so much in there. There's so much I had questions about. And I also didn't feel like the groups of people that were there, it was like not really the right people would be like, hey, can we just talk about whether or not I believe this part or not, you know? Nice. And I think that's like a kind of like a no-no in church. You don't go in to this new church family and then be critical to everybody.
I would say what's cool about Orthodoxy is it's like, while it's the most traditional, it's, to me, I've had a very like kind of open experience with it. Like, it doesn't feel like, you know, demanding or like, yeah, I don't know. Like, you could ask questions. Like the classes, like there's every Saturday I go to the catechumen class, and I didn't ask too many questions, but people ask wild questions.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, so there's a class setting.
Yeah.
The class is not church. It's not math. It's not.
No. So there's the main service, liturgy every Sunday, and there's a vesper service on Saturday. And this was in the hall. It would just be like a catechumen class for like 30 minutes to an hour or something. It'd just be a different topic for each day. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was good.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you gonna write any
like
Christian songs?
I'm open to it.
Wait, so Orthodox, what do you call it?
Orthodox Christian. Yeah.
Orthodox, so it's Christian.
Yeah, so
you wouldn't say you're Catholic.
No, just Christian. So I'll give a really quick summary.
Sure. There
was one church, right, until 1,000 years after, right?
Yeah.
And the first split was Catholic and Orthodox. That was the very first split. So like even Orthodox even say they're the one holy Catholic Apostolic Church. They'll use that word even though we're not Catholic, right?
Okay.
Catholic just meaning universal. So that was like the very first split. And then down the line in Catholicism, like 1500 or something, you get Protestantism splitting off of Catholicism and all the denominations after that. So yeah, it's just as close. The idea is it's as close to like what the apostles would recognize, like the original church. That's the idea.
Go to the source.
And I could also talk to a priest. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, it's so big, and I feel like people need that. The world's going in some crazy places right now, and I think it's like being spiritual, whichever way that is to you, is like super important.
It helps.
Because otherwise you're just nihilistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just like, well, I don't know if any of this means anything. I'm just going to die. It's not going to mean anything.
Yeah, that's always
if you live your life like that, dude, you can get dark quick.
That's what happened. That's what happened. Like, as being young, starting these bands and stuff, I always had a terrible like fear of death, dying, eternity, like at the same time, just always constant existential dread, you know?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Not growing up with anything or any answers, like
yeah.
And you just feel like, oh, okay, I'm gonna die and just not exist someday. What's the point?
Do you want children one day?
Yeah.
Would you teach them that? Would you show them the way, kind of thing, or would you be like, you're just gonna figure this shit out?
Yeah, I would like take them when they're Orthodoxy. There's always kids like at service. You know, it's very oriented for kids to be there. I would bring them, but I'd also like tell them like, hey, like you're gonna encounter all kinds of crazy, all kinds of stuff in the world. Like, you know, there's this. People believe this. People believe in Buddha. People believe in this. So just kind of have to be aware of what's out there.
I agree.
Yeah,
be aware of it all.
Yeah,
and you can dive into stuff. So, okay, we kind of got away from it, but I'm excited that we did, because I'm happy to learn those things. And there's a lot of people that, like, I don't know, need to try other things and get out of their little element and like go to a different church and go see what it's like. Definitely. Go see if it changes you, Yeah. I recommend Jordan Peterson all day, man. Goodness. But you're doing photography now.
Yeah. Yep.
And what are you doing with the photography?
Right now, a lot of street photography. I'm
stills.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a beginner, I've just been getting obsessed and just using cameras that I got thrifting, but I just bought my first you're kind of nice camera.
Processing the film?
No, this is all digital, but I did today I got a film camera to try to kind of mess with. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how it's going to turn out. You don't want to waste the money on film. So I'm going to try it. Like when I get bored of the digital, I'll try film.
Red room and shit?
There's a dark room like 6 minutes from my house. So
locally here?
In Escondido.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah. So I went in there, old guy, Bob, just showed me around.
Thanks, Bob.
Shout
out, Bob.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So I'll try film, but digital's what I've been doing mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of what? What's your subjects? What do you like to do? You're just everywhere anyway, right?
Yeah, I like street photography. I like portraits. Like when I go back to Arizona, I'll just take pictures of my friends and their kids and stuff. And
Zoom.
Up close,
Yeah.
Mess with the shutter speed. So I love portraits.
Are you doing
family photos of people? Or are you doing any money, or is this just simply creative?
There's a couple gigs coming, like out of nowhere. I'm doing my buddy's comedy show at the end of the month.
Oh, sick. And he wants photography.
Yeah.
Not film.
Just like digital photography.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I like your photos. Do my show.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm doing, stuff just like small businesses, like boutiques and stuff. So
Yeah.
which, hey,
Yeah, I was gonna say there's one downstairs somewhere. Well, because when I met you, you were like, "Hey, you need some drone footage."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're loud about the things that you do like that. So I feel like you'll get
it helps
gigs
to be loud.
that
It helps to be loud
all day.
Like so first thing I got going with small businesses doing photos, like just because I was walking around downtown Escondido, like really into it, taking pictures. And this guy's like, "Hey, you look really passionate. Like, my wife just opened up. Can you come and take
come in here,
pictures?"
dude. Yeah, because he was loud about it. That's
So
how it works,
honestly, and I don't know. My default's not to be that way, I think. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You feel uncomfortable when you're like,
Yeah, it's more common for me just to kind of
let it
chill.
flow.
Yeah. So, but it helps to be loud.
That
Definitely.
means you probably have good luck as well.
Yeah.
You'd like to be chill because then the world just kind of like went your way.
I tend to roll with things. I'm not super type A or like in a controlling sense. I just, things, my general vibe is like, it'll work out.
Yeah.
And it usually does.
Easy going.
Yeah.
Not a terrible way to do it. Yeah. But there were some other questions that I wanted to ask you about. Okay. The drones.
Uh-huh.
If I wanted to buy a drone, what would I buy if I had a decent budget? But
So-
like for like film drone shots.
I got started with DJI Mini 3 Pro. That's like a good small drone to start with.
There's a lot of DJIs, right?
DJI, yeah. DJI, yeah. Yeah, that's probably, that's like the main, shout out DJI. Like,
Shout out, yeah. We'll take one. I'll take one.
Yeah. So that's what I started with. Pretty, good video quality, fly pretty far with it. It's small, so it's good. Like, I don't know, inside a building, it's great because it's small size.
And there's features where it can follow you and shit.
That one, there's like a return home. So you fly too far from home.
That's cool. Come on back.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Do you lose them or break them, or is it?
I've only damaged one.
Did you run it into something?
Yeah.
It was your fault?
Yeah, just when I was practicing. So there's two screens, right? There is like the map, which will show you like your GPS.
Okay.
And there's like the main drone screen. So I was
What the camera sees? Because there's a
the camera. So let's say camera view and map view. I was probably, let's say 100 to 200 feet up. I was in a spot where normally I'm not going to hit anything. You're going to clear over poles. You're going to clear over most of the things in your way.
Yeah.
So I was checking my GPS just so I could come back. And then before I knew it, I hit a big transmission pole that was like, at least 200 feet high or whatever, and crashed it.
And it broke the unit.
Yeah, I had to repair it. Yeah.
Oh, you had to repair. You didn't have to buy a new one. It's a repair thing. So what, you build the
I got
motors or something?
I got it repaired. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not super hands-on with that stuff.
What am I looking for cost-wise? If I wanted just like a cool one to have fun with, and I wanted it to look good when that was recording or whatever, like
I would say you're gonna be looking at the $1,000 range probably.
minimum.
Somewhere if you want like starting area, but also good quality.
Yeah.
$1,000 range.
I've just noticed like all of the new movies, intro, drone shot,
Yeah.
close up. It's like they're all.
There's just so much you could do with it. Like creative stuff, obviously, like awesome. But even just like there's people that like do like the pest control with it. The spray fields with it. There's people that it's crazy. All the stuff you can do.
And people, is that a thing really that they're going to deliver with the drones?
Yeah, I think they already do, or they try. Like you ever see the videos where they drop stuff?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. They'll figure it out. I think.
currently doing that like in some of the war drone.
Right. Yeah.
countries that were
Obviously. Yeah.
dropping things
That was
like
probably the first kind of drone. I bet you that was the first kind of drone there was.
right? Yeah, for sure. War.
Yeah, war. Unless there was like a pornoraphy drone, that could have been the first one.
There's a sex cells, so they might have done that first for sure. You can always run that. All right. So being the drone guy, do you have any? Answer for what the drones were that were popping up over New Jersey that no one?
Dude, I don't know, but that was the most stressful time to work as a drone pilot.
Oh.
Dude, people, depending on the area, and what you got to do. If you're flying over like near people's houses, like, what are you doing flying? Like, and I get it. I'd be the same way. Like,
Sure.
I'm a little conspiracy kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'd be the same way. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But like,
what are you doing by my house?
so,
Do you know what I know?
right. So when all the drone stuff was happening in New Jersey, like everyone's on high alert and it's
Yeah.
just, you can't get anything done. It's like, yeah, you get stopped a bunch and, which
People-
I don't mind
yeah.
explaining, but some people get mad. Like I saw you looking at my wife. Like they
You're like, no, it
jump.
wasn't, bro.
Dude, no.
Then you look at the footage, you're like, it kind of was.
Delete.
Yeah.
No, but
There was they were saying they were car-sized drones that were coming over.
Yeah.
Like, is there any things that big, or do you think that's secret military we don't know?
I think it's probably military or like a distraction, right? Like,
Right, here we go.
That's
Let's
kind of my
go.
thing. I'm not a big alien guy, so I think it was probably military or hey, don't look at whatever else is going on.
Yeah, look at the news was coming out, and the cops locally were saying we can't track it. I can't get it on radar, and
Right,
things
right.
like that. Because there at that time, it just felt so, I don't know, stressful and crazy when that was happening. Because
Yeah.
there was like high government officials saying like we don't know what it is, and I'm like, you don't know what it is?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It's weird. How do
Yeah.
you know? Like,
But
they
then
could
there was
they
so
could go
many-
into someone's cell phone and like probably take a look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then when you want them to, they're like, oh, we're just trying to figure it out. Apple's helping us or whatever.
Right.
Dude, they're on that shit already.
Yeah.
You know they are. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You don't have the technology to do that, but there's definitely businesses that do that. Like, government does that.
I just
But-
know on a practical level that sucked working.
Yeah.
We're all paranoid.
Well, to kind of tie back into the religion thing, there was
Yeah.
a lot of like people bringing up that they felt like it was angels because there were some people that were saying it was large drones, and some people were saying they were like light forms and orbs.
Interesting.
That were like popping in and out. And there was a lot of video. I suggest people looking it up that when the people would say Jesus loves you or like talk about religion, the form would change.
Yeah.
And then it would like go back to like whatever spherical thing it was.
Whoa.
And I was like, more of that, please. And then all of a
That's
sudden
interesting.
just gone. So like, was it a distraction? You know what I mean? That
I
was
would
like-
be more inclined to think it was like angels or demons than like aliens for sure.
Yeah.
Personally.
Why? Because the distance aspect?
Not even like on a physical thing, but just I mean, I didn't even see the videos, so I don't know. But
I was like stuck.
I really think like modern like alien like abduction stories are just demons. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that a lot of that phenomenon is just like modern demonic manifestation. Like that's how they appear now. I don't know.
Do you believe in like ancient spiritual warfare of good and evil? Like, do you think that it's always...
I do believe that there's the devil and there's God.
And people that believe in religion believe that, though, right? The yin and yang, bad and good.
Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah. I mean, there's some. I think if you get a little too like Buddhist with it, there's a little bit of like
You are God.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's some differences for sure, but I mean, I would think probably that would be the oldest story, right? Good and evil. I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of light and dark.
Yeah. 100%.
Polarity.
Yeah.
So, Kurtis Lee, he makes his own songs when he wants to.
Yep.
He's going hard at photography.
Yep.
That's like what you're going to spend most of your time, and I'm sure your money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you need to buy more musical equipment? You kind of have it all, right?
I got a lot of stuff in storage.
So
right,
if you want,
right
oh,
now.
boo,
I got to drag it out.
storage?
I got to drag it out of storage. I think that's what'll happen is when I get a good kind of space, kind of like what you got,
Mm-hmm.
or just a good setup. Then I'll when it's set up, you'll use it.
You pulling out a guitar and starting to practice is not like pulling it out of camera anymore, though, right? Like it's more exciting.
So the camera, it's so new still that it's like there's so much to learn.
Challenge.
Yeah, so it's easy to get obsessed. Guitar is you can get kind of stagnant, like you've been playing for so long.
Do you play keys?
Not really. I tried. I got like one of the apps and
Yeah.
learning basic chords and stuff. So that's probably my worst.
Something you want to do?
It'd be nice to know. Yeah.
To play the piano?
Yeah. that'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Definitely.
Love the piano. Well, your whole orchestra is there. If you want
Yeah.
to write things and you want to notate them, it's like you have to.
Yeah.
You put it on the piano. You don't want to do that with a guitar.
No.
I don't know if you ever tried to notate on a guitar. Goodness, bro.
Yeah.
When I learned, I was like, oh shit, no, you gotta go up like that. Like that's gonna be difficult to,
Yeah.
like write anything for other instruments.
Yeah.
So, you have all your camera stuff that you like?
With me?
No, I mean like all the cameras, like Is there some sort of goal that you're going to buy a camera that's really expensive?
I think I'm happy where I'm at right now. I was using like just stuff I thrifted, so I had and family.
Give me a name
family
of a
cameras.
camera that's good.
There was a Kodak Easy Share I was using. I got that from my Aunt Connie.
Thanks,
And
Connie.
it's like a 2007 like kind of digital camera, but you could change the shutter speed and the aperture and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of a good little in between.
Sure.
I started with that, taking pictures of like ducks and stuff.
Around here?
Yeah.
Where were the ducks?
What's that little lake? Discovery Lake. I think
Oh,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
it's called.
Discovery Lake here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in Esco, what's that one that
Hodges.
I've
maybe?
camped
Is that
there.
Hodges.
No,
I forget the names.
my wife's gonna hate me that I forget her. Like our favorite,
Oh no.
Dixon Lake.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun because you can drive up the mountain. You can rent the boat.
It's nice.
It's beautiful out there.
I think that's the place I would just go before I was like really into photography. I would just go and walk around and like really
Yeah.
nice little hike, little
Yeah,
walk.
we pull up the little RV and we sit out there and you can play on the mountain with the, you're just sitting there jamming.
Yeah, vibing.
I love it over there.
That's
And it's
great.
not expensive.
Yeah.
Don't raise the race. Shout out Dixon Lake. So because it was really interesting when I met you and you said about the drones, because I want to like something that a creative venture I want to do is I definitely want to like soundtrack like short films.
Be awesome.
But I've noticed that a lot of like cool short films that I like they have drone footage, and that's when like the sound comes in.
Right.
Like when that thing's going overlay, it's like, there's your opportunity for that.
Yeah.
It's kind of
All
difficult
kinds of cool
in
effects.
conversation. It's like, okay, time to leave, play cue song,
Yeah.
but like when the drone's up or it's coming in,
Yeah.
like you got all that creation available right there.
Do so much, yeah.
And so the camera I wanted to buy that I've been looking is called the Sony FX30. Do you know anything about that?
No, I
Because all these, I've asked someone and someone's like, oh, you need the 3. And I'm like, I have $6,000 for a camera.
Yeah.
But I buy this, Netflix approved, high def, whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
like it's a whole world.
Passions cost money, man. Like,
Yeah.
my newest camera is the Canon EOS, what's it called, RP, and I don't know, it was maybe like 800 to 1,000, and then the lens was a few hundred or whatever.
Yeah.
Even that, I was like,
Yeah, you're like,
but
$1,500.
I just felt like, all right, I've been dedicated to this enough. Let's step it up, and it had what I
Did
needed.
you have to earn it, like with your work?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, from the last project, I kind of saved up, and I was like, I got a good little, till the next project, a good little
Yeah.
pile stashed
But
away.
like your photos were good enough that you earned buying the new camera, right?
Yeah, it's nice when money can go back into it. Yeah.
Wait, you're making money from this right now?
I mean, the drones, my main
the
drone stuff.
boutiques
The drone stuff's my main gig. I'm just starting to make a little money here and there doing gigs with actual photography.
The drones is simply like industrial things. It's not like artistic.
I haven't really done anything too creative with the drone stuff yet. That's more just practical, like commercial.
You have
stuff.
a website?
I mean, really, my Instagram is kind of my main.
Got it.
The center of everything.
You have all, because you can post all your shit there.
Yeah, I would
They
say.
can come see.
It's Kurtis Lee on Instagram.
Kurtis Lee.
It's Kurtis Lee. ITS.
Oh,
Kurtis
it's
Lee.
ITS Kurtis Lee with a K.
Yeah.
Kurtis.
So probably Instagram. I should get a website. I've made like some in the past, but I never.
Well, being like an older man.
I mean, I like a good website. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I've just noticed that all the people that are, I don't know, older, some of the young kids, check out my Instagram or whatever. And I'm like, bro, I don't even go on there anymore. But some of most of the people have, comedians or musicians or whatever, they have like a link tree at their website.
It would
And
help.
It's just like
it would
everything
help,
there.
like having different hobbies, like to have a section for like photography, music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Be able to split it up. That would be nice. I always like, I'll like cancel the domain name or something, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I've done it in the past. More like when I was kind of trying to get into coding, so like practice HTML, buy a domain name, but I don't know.
I did that too. I used to build websites through Dreamweaver.
Yeah,
And
Dreamweaver.
It was so fun.
I had a class in middle school on how to learn Dreamweaver.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I ended up like learning how to do it, and I would build websites for people, and I would just go to a business and be like, hey, let me just make a homepage for you, and if you like it better, then you should consider me building the rest of your website, you know? And I would like code something out for them real quick, and they're like that? And I'm like that. And then Wix came out, no sense.
I remember using FreeWebs. There's a website called freewebs.com when I was like a kid, like just to make like a Naruto fan website or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it could be / whatever. Yeah.
That was fun.
But there's all the new stuff, man. It's like so simple for a business owner to make their own website that I feel like that
And
job
with AI now too, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
And it'll be like, what kind of style do you want? Do you want me to just build it for you?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I was messing with AI. I was on Grok and ChatGPT just
Yeah.
to see what it could do, and I made like a little mini MySpace replica. And I mean,
A website, like a MySpace?
yeah,
website?
it wasn't public, but I was, I got to the point where you could like log in, you can make an account, you could change. Like, it was laid out like MySpace, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I forgot. I don't remember how to code. Like I have to look up how to do that. So
I know.
I would just go back and forth with the AI and be like, okay, like. It needs to do like a login screen. Okay, you can't store the information like this. Can you store it like this? You're just kind of like
That's cool.
going back and forth with it.
For all of
Just
us that
for fun.
had a lot of MySpaces, goodness, dude.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I love
that.
that.
Was,
I like
I learned of a lot of the music that inspired me to write the type of music I did from MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
It was like weird.
There was like a whole
underground
scene.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, I wanted like indie electronic hip hop, and they would have it. And it was like weird stuff. And there were people that weren't big and they had really good stuff. And I would be like, how are you making this? I'm on whatever, and they're like, I'd get all these like, probably, stoned out of their brain guys are like, dude, you need sounds and instrumentals, and you need to like, become the earth to get this kind of sound. I'm like, what does it mean?
There's a lot of
dude?
creative people that want to become the earth.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, become the earth, dude. If your vibe is the earth, the vibration. So
MySpace was great though.
yeah.
Hollywood Undead, Escape the Fate, like all those kind of bands got started there.
I think some of the hardcore,
Yeah.
Step started
Right. There's a lot
from
of it.
people
So many
doing
bands.
that, like that, because if you were turning, electronic house, dance, EDM or whatever into like, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just have that bring people in. Like there would have been a crowd that wanted to go see that.
Oh yeah.
Glug, 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 glug.
Skrillex.
I loved Skrillex
Oh,
when
yeah.
it came out. He just made new music.
I saw that. I listened to it, and then I heard it was like.
Was it any good? Because I haven't.
Well, I liked it, but a lot of it was like old stuff or unreleased stuff.
Oh.
I guess I had no idea. I never heard it, but I liked the whatever song I heard. It was kind of throwback like that. So
Did you ever hear his punk band?
from first to last.
From first to last.
I did.
Yeah,
I did
that's
a song with Matt Good. He was the other singer, and I think he was the guitarist. And from first to last, he produced one of my songs on Spotify.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so that was super sick. He did like background vocals on it, and I was super stoked.
Yeah, for sure.
They're great, dude.
Well, I really liked that band, and I had no idea that was him until like way later. And like,
yeah, Sonny
someone
Moore.
was like-
Sonny Moore.
Yeah, they were like, dude, that's the guy from first to last. I'm
Yep.
like, oh shit, Emily, I love that.
Emily, Note to Self. Note to Self is like, oh, I'll still put that on. It's so good. Note to Self. I probably don't want. I don't know copyright on it, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
but dude, that's
It's like,
so good.
what do they call it? There's as long as we're teaching it for educational purposes.
If you look at, if you want to
Fair Use Act. So.
look up. There's only one song on this band I made, but Vanity Faction.
Vanity Faction. Huh?
Vanity Faction. That's a song that he produced for me, and he's in Arizona. I think he has good sounds. He's like a producer, engineer guy, Matt Good.
Wait, the band name is the Vanity Faction?
Yeah, the song,
I Know Better.
That's it. And it's once again, it's just me. I wrote the song. They went to the studio, laid it down. He's on some of the background vocals.
Is that you on the cover?
Yeah.
With that hair like that? Let's go.
Just help,
Oh, yeah.
help me empty these sad, sick thoughts of eternity. Why should I worry? I can't write the end of this story. What's my point? What's my purpose? I've only scratched the surface. Live forever or fade to black. Once you're gone, you can't come back. Just when you think you're fine, that thought goes in your mind. Are we more than just skin? But ignorance. Sometimes I think we're not.
Wait, so this was your band?
It was just me. I came up
The
with
Vanity Faction
Yeah, I came up
was
with a
your
name, and nothing came of it, but put up the song.
You definitely look the part of this era on that fucking.
What's funny, I was this was like 2014 maybe, so I was a little late with the emo vibe. 2015 maybe, but yeah.
It's because, dude, the cut jeans and that haircut, bro.
I think there's fishnets
You're
on those
definitely
jeans.
the guy. Oh, really? Let's go. Well, that's really cool, man. I mean, because that's what. Okay, you got other groups.
I mean, this was just me, and I came up with a band name and I was gonna use it as like a starting off point, like to find people.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Well, it sounds very good.
I was stoked on it.
It's called The Vanity Faction.
Yeah.
I Know Better, and you can find it on Spotify.
I think we're nothing, just nothing, just nothing.
Ooh, let's go. With the phrase. And that's all you? Are you?
Yeah.
Is that live drums that you're recording?
Electronic drums. They had somebody do the drums. Like I
Yeah,
wrote
yeah.
everything. I typed it up. I had like a demo.
Yeah.
And I did the guitar, the vocals, and they would hop in like on certain parts. They had a guy on electronic drums. I think they laid down the bass. So he did some background vocals.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds amazing.
Like,
I just feel like, it's weird to hear someone that is younger than I am that just like, you went through all of this stuff. There's like the sound and the vibe and the, it was definitely a time. It was like an era
Oh,
for
yeah.
this stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I want like the whinier, the different, the screamier. I wanted it,
yeah, I'm a super just nostalgic person. So
Yeah.
I'm still listening to that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
half the time. So
Yeah, I've got a buddy that plays me a lot of like the new hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm still like an emo guy.
Yeah.
Like I can't get away from some of like the intricate, I love layered vocals.
Me too. I love crazy harmonies, like
Dude.
3, 4, like Falling in Verse does like a lot of crazy vocal stuff like that.
Yeah,
A lot of harmonies.
I really enjoy that. Well, dude, I wanted you to play your guitar and sing something.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing? I'm technically over an hour already, but I think I could wait for at least one example if you're willing.
Yeah.
Because I want people to hear that you actually sound like this because you have a great voice.
I want to make
So-
sure too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's important to know that you actually sound like that. So if you're willing, dude, can I
Yeah.
grab this guitar for you?
Yeah. Let's do it. Test. Hey, how's that sound?
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Hey, oh.
Run that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kurtis Lee with Not Where I Want to Be.
How many holes does a man have to dig? How many holes will I drill? I got dirt on my hands and a hole in my heart, but I'm still doing what I feel. 'Cause I've done my time, walked that long line, still not where I wanna be. Cause I tried my best, been put to the test, maybe I'll always be at sea. Oh, I'm still not where I wanna be. How much shit does a man have to take before he stands up for his own? How many rules must a child break before he can find his way back? 'Cause I've done my share, ended up nowhere, still not where I wanna be, yeah. 'Cause I've tried my best, put to the test, maybe I'll always be at sea. I'm still not where I wanna be. Hey! How many holes does a man have to dig before he loses all his will? Yeah, I've done my time, walked that long line, still not where I wanna be. 'Cause I tried my best, been put to the test, maybe I'll always be at sea.
Just killing it. Hey, it's Kurtis Lee. That's his Instagram handle. You can find Kurtis Lee on Spotify. Everything, right?
Instagram,
music.
it's Kurtis Lee. Spotify, you can find me, Kurtis Lee. YouTube.
I mean, you see this guy and you hear what he does, and he wants to be a photographer, but he'll take gigs for music, right?
Oh, yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Find this guy.
Let's be creative,
I agree. Yeah, we need it. I think we very need it. So, dude, thank you so much. You're awesome. I'm very excited to have you on here and to have you as a friend in my life, too. So,
Awesome, man. Yeah.
excited for the future, dude. And I'm excited to see what you do. And I would like to see what you do with this photography. I'd like to see that in the future, like maybe a part 2, and see like where you went with that.
That'd be awesome.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.